Okay, good morning. Today I would like to talk about secure communication over the internet. Now I know everybody thinks that there are no secure communications over the internet, and that's all great because Hollywood and the big bad governments of the world have told you that there is no such thing as secure communications over the internet. However, in real life, a non-Hollywood life, that's actually not entirely accurate. So let me actually demonstrate. Let's go to my whiteboard here, and let's start here. All right, so all communication anywhere in the world is actually comprised of people. This person could be in America, this person could be in England, could be wherever, it doesn't matter. And then they actually chat via Facebook, texting, SMS, cell phones, whatever your favorite application is. If that application is not encrypted, whether it's a video chat or whatever, the text that is actually passed between 2 points is in what's called clear text. Clear text allows any conversation to actually flow naturally between two without any restrictions. So if person A communicates with person B, whether they're next door or they're in another country, they have to go through the internet connection, which is a bunch of routers and servers and stuff like that. Um, and that information can be easily captured by capturing the traffic in the middle of the conversation. You may have heard the term man in the middle. Well, man in the middle is a technical term for a man in the middle attack, where they insert a piece of software in the middle and they capture all the transmissions. This is exactly what the NSA does and other spy agencies. So, how do we avoid this conversation being recorded? Well, the number one thing you have to do is encrypt it. And with encryption, what happens is a certified certificate is actually put on both sides. The certificate has a key algorithm that prevents the text from being seen by a person who doesn't have a key on the other side. So if Joey Bob over here sends something over to Mr. England over here and he doesn't have the key, he sees a bunch of gargly gook. Undecipherable, just a bunch of letters all kind of mixed together. Doesn't work very well because he can't understand what you're saying because he doesn't speak gibberish. So if he has the key, he sees exactly what you're trying to see. Now, conversation and OPSEC and all that kind of stuff is really based on common sense. Let's be real here. Again, Hollywood can't, with 2 clicks of their keyboard on their fancy little smartphone, hack into your conversation. It's just not reality. It's just not how things work. It is highly possible to hack conversations and to hack computers and do all that. That happens every single day. There are some very smart people out there. However, when it comes down to the high levels of encryptions that are involved, unless they have the key to your conversation, they are not going to get it. However, if you take a third person here who you don't trust, and he just happens to be a some type of government guy who infiltrates your conversation by pretending to be your buddy, um, he can actually, he gets the key because you've invited him into the conversation. You invited him into the conversation or invited him to have the certificate, the decoder ring, so to speak. Now he can actually see your conversation. So OPSEC is about common sense. Now, you can have a video chat with somebody and you can observe their mannerisms, their eye contact, their body language, and many, many other things. And you get much more of a feeling of who this person is. And there are a lot of tells and psychological approaches to understanding if somebody is actually on your side or not. It's actually not that difficult. But back to the technology side of this, unless you invite them into your conversation, they can't see it. Now, for example, say you invite this dude who lives in the same town as you over to your house and he's watching your screen. Well, the encryption is pointless because he's actually watching what you type. Another scenario would be if they installed a keylogger or a Trojan on your computer and they recorded every keystroke. Well, keystrokes aren't encrypted until they go over the wire. But if he has this program that's recording your keystrokes, then yes, you are compromised and you're causing everybody in your group a potential security risk. So this is reality, not Hollywood, not what they tell you on the news, not what the NSA says they can do. The NSA is not really as smart as they think they are most of the time. Granted, don't underestimate them because they are smart guys. They sit around in little rooms all day long and figure out ways to steal your information. But technology is still technology. So let me show you how to avoid some of this. All right. This is a little website from a company that actually is spawned out of the massive intrusions of privacy. You know, by the way, the Fourth Amendment does give us the, they have to have a warrant to get the information. Well, Unseen.is is actually a company outside of the U.S., so they are not subject to any U.S. law or any international BS law that says, hey, you have to give me information because I have a Patriot Act. Bunch of garbage is what that is. But anyways, they have really high encryption and secure communication, unlike Facebook or anything like that. Now, this isn't a Facebook social media. This is actually a program that allows you chat, and I'll go over that in just a minute, different things. Now, the Android OS and the Apple OS are not actually all that secure. Windows is actually more secure. Now, some guys may debate that, but the reality is open source, open source, open source. Closed source. Nobody has the source. They can't figure out the bugs in it. That, again, is not Hollywood. It's reality. If something is free and openly available, I can take it into my lab and figure out how it works. So they are hosted in Iceland. So again, they don't actually fall in any of the restrictions that are required by U.S. companies that are hosting on U.S. servers. This is hosted in another country with very good privacy laws. You can read through their FAQs. And you want to look at this right here. They are using a 4090-bit encryption. Now this service, they have a free service, and then they have a paid service. It's only like 40 or 50 bucks a year or something like that. It's ridiculously cheap, and it's actually really good. I've used it a lot, and you can do all kinds of stuff with it, which I'll show you in a minute. But take a look at here what it says. This is actually a fact. Military-grade encryption is only AES 256. 256 is what most SSL websites, 128 to 256, a lot of encrypted chat are using that. There are other programs right now that are being used by doctors to remotely view clients via video chat. They are only using 256. Now, the Unseen system uses a 4096-bit encryption key, and it is double the strength, obviously, but it is 16 lines longer than the 256 encryption. So according to the engineers, it will take 23,840 times longer to crack than it would a 256. Now, we've all heard of the fancy stuff that the government says they have, that they can crack any encryption on the fly, blah, blah, blah. Until I actually see that with my own eyes, bullcrap. Um, because the nature of what I've just explained with this whole presentation is that unless you have the key to the conversation, you're not getting in the conversation. Now, if you invite people into your conversation that are not trustworthy, that's a common sense and a human failure, not a technology failure. So once you sign up for your free account on there, you can download their Unseen app for Windows or for Mac or for Linux or for Android. You can get email plugins. Most of this stuff is free. And then if you want to buy their service, it's really not. Again, I don't work for this company. I appreciate what they've done, and I appreciate their uh, entrepreneurial spirit to come up with a solution to the violation of our rights. So let's take a look at the unseen client right here. Try that again. Let's uncheck that. Present. Okay. All right. So this is the unseen client. You download it. Never ever use a Google product. Don't use Chrome or any of those. And these days, I wouldn't use Firefox either way because, you know, they're ran by a bunch of anti-American bullies with their homophobe agenda. But, you know, that's a personal thing. You got to make your own decision. But technically speaking, don't use any Google products because they are not secure. They're in bed with the government agencies like the NSA and stuff like that. Don't let them tell you they're not. Google is a YouTube and all that is a very controlled environment, even though they want you to think it's open and free and all that kind of stuff. They control a lot of their platform. So if I want to chat, audio call, video call, block, add, whatever, I can do all that from here. Show encrypted. So basically, it'll actually have the encryption built in, or you can actually show encryption. There's no really reason to do that. Video calls are encrypted. Now you can go to groups, have groups here, okay, or you go to communities, request, etc., email. Now, you have to have an unseen account, to going back to my prior diagram, so that you can actually have your secure communication between your 2 points. If you don't have the secure communication between 2 points, your message is going out encrypted. The other person's getting gobbledygook because they don't have the key, because they're not part of this platform. So hopefully this is a informative way to dispel all the major amounts of disinformation and hype that's out there, and a chance to actually create a secure communication. Now again, don't be saying stupid stuff, doing stupid stuff if somebody else is inside the conversation you don't trust. But as far as the technology goes, you're secure as long as you actually follow the basic rules. So hopefully, again, this was a informative